wanted to get it in front of him in the front. Is that
great start by Corey Alexander?
Yes.
Did exactly what he had to do.
Yeah, Corey
moved
Alexander
all the way into second.
Look for that Kawasaki. I was trying to figure out if it was Gilbert or if it was Mesa, and it was Alexander. First lap of 13, and it has literally been chasing the times of Cam Peterson so far in Stock 1000 practice and qualifying this week at Barber Motorsports Park. Some cool ups and downs to this track. It's about a little over 2.25 miles long. It circulates in a clockwise direction, 17 turns, but really left-hand turn. That'll be turn 17. You see Peterson and the Kawasaki not too far behind. I think this is everything you could ask for if you're Corey Alexander, don't you think? After not necessarily the best qualifying, to come out here and put yourself behind Cam Peterson.
Yeah, he's back 1 second, but he cannot let him get any further away. I just think once Cam gets going, he needs to, go with him and stay within that 1 second and keep the pressure on.
Although Raj, it was the first lap. You see Cam Peterson like first, second, and third, the fastest sectors overall. But then just behind Corey Alexander, sector 4, sector 5. Maybe he had a little bit more confidence in those tires. He see where Peterson's at, and he can maybe push it a little bit more as we're taking a look at that battle for Gilbert back there in third, Mesa in fourth of the 37.
Michael Gilbert's actually had a good first lap here, making up a couple spots.
That's what we expected more of out of Michael Gilbert at the start of the season, where he started last year so well up there near the top of that podium. This year struggling to make the podium, but has done that in the past 2 rounds. Prior to that, he only had 1 podium finish at Road America 2, where he finished third. Stefano Mesa's missed the last couple of weeks where Gilbert's can turn it on. We haven't seen Mesa. Let's quickly go down to Jamie Howe.
And Michael Gilbert says he's reached a point in the season where he feels like they really have a bike that he's won with now. He feels like it's his motorcycle. Anything that happens out on the racetrack, he feels like will be a result of what he as a rider is able to improve on. This morning in the practice session, he was the rider that did the full race stint. So he did 14 laps, 13 plus 1 to get into make sure that he has a good solid race bike underneath him.
And knows where that tire is going to be at the end of the day as well, Raj, and we didn't see that out of everybody else.
Nope, and that's when it counts, the last 5 or 6 laps. Once those tires go off, it's going to be really important, especially because he's going to be in that battle for the podium. And, see Cam Peterson that lap pulled out, to second and a half lead. So they're going to not let him keep pulling away 6/10 a lap.
We're sharing the wealth, though, on some purple times. Again, we talk about purple on our timing and scoring. It means the overall best, but now I'm seeing more and more purple for Cam Peterson. I do see a quickest sector 5 for Michael Gilbert. Corey Alexander has the best trap speed. Now, the speed these guys are turning, just shy of 150 miles an hour, 147 point. And those are 2 guys that are, used to racing each other, did last year, got together several times. Jeff May, the only one, I'm surprised. Where's Jeff May this weekend? He's typically here at these rounds. I sure wish he was in the mix because, he always throws it in there as well on his Kawasaki. Looking at the field, you have Suzuki of Cam Peterson, the 45 out in front now, another purple, a 125.59. He's a half a second faster than Corey Alexander that last lap on a Kawasaki. The Kawasaki of Michael Gilbert in third, Stefano Mesa on a Cowie, Travis Wyman, the BMW in fifth. And how about it, Ashton Yates on the Honda for the first time. We're seeing him up there near that top 5, and that's an old bike. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. He's looking fast. And
Cam Peterson actually, he's broke the overall track record already this weekend, and now he breaks the race record by half a second. So
not even close. I mean, he's just killing it.
Smashed it. Before it was Andrew Lee had it at a 26.0, and Cam Peterson's running 25.5, so a half a second.
Let's send it down to Jamie Howe.
Well, if you're looking for a rider to follow, somebody to really latch onto, it would be Stefano Mesa, certainly in that running. Remember, he hasn't run the last couple of races because it was just too far. He doesn't have the budget. He's not a full season team, but he has spent the last month on the road doing all of the regional races he could to earn enough money to be able to come and even ride here at Barber Motorsports Park. He showed up.
Starting to turn it on. He's been fast on the 141.
He's a little bit quicker than Travis Wyman, so if he keeps taking that big gap out of him each lap, he'll be on him before the end and, be trying to get in that top 5.
Gerardo on the Kawasaki currently sits 6th in championship points, coming off of that DNF at the last round, but he got 11 points, which is good enough for a top 5 just before that. This is the race for 9th place. Joe Giannato on the 48, Danilo Lewis the 94.
Stefano Mesa is all over Michael Gilbert for that last podium spot.
And that would be that 3rd, 4th battle. You're looking through the field there.
And they're only 8/10 behind Corey Alexander. In that lap, they were a little bit fast. Corey was a little bit faster than those two.
There we are, looking at that race for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's going to be a good one. Going to look back through the field as well. Danilo Lewis leading that trio of riders. So Stefano Mesa, as Jamie pointed out, having to ride the regional races, and that's how he's making his money. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, he lost his day job in North Carolina, and you see a big wheelie out of the cow. He looks over to the side. He's trying to drag race down that straight, trying to grab enough power as they head into that museum turn, not able to do it, and play and follow the leader. And you better hope that guy in front of you is on a good line, or it will sometimes take you the wrong direction.
One thing these guys do, they...
Gilbert back to 4th. Next up is Corey Alexander, the 23, and that's something that, you know, Mesa, Gilbert, they've been in that 2nd, 3rd position quite often last year, chasing Andrew Lee. Haven't seen it quite as much this year. It's been Corey Alexander's been the new Mesa and Gilbert.
And Stefano Mesa looks like he had a lot of, he just did a 25-2 that lap. He was 4/10 quicker than Corey Alexander, so he's going to, you know, he might be able to pull Michael Gilbert up there and have a 3-way battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
And Mesa had the overall quickest in Sector 4, so you see purple times for him, a personal best when he was in Sector 5, so he likes the back half of this lap. You're looking at the different lines. Mesa's been here many times. You know, Mesa from North Carolina, not too far. He's been racing the series for quite some time, and probably runs regional races here when he can as well. Corey Alexander, a New York guy, and he is closing
He's
in
on him
fast. Is Corey having problems, or is it Mesa going that much faster?
Just looks like, you know, Stefano Mesa's just keeping the same lap time pretty close. The last lap, you know, Corey's best is a 26.1. In the last lap, he was a half a second slower than that.
Is it the case of Corey trying to manage those tires? Because I see Mesa wiggling around a little bit. I think he's putting the pressure on him. We've seen Corey Alexander before, especially in the Hunnell Superbike when they're racing with the Superbike Cup, where he's had a little bit more tire than, say, Cam Peterson at the end of the race.
He is one of those guys we've seen all year actually get stronger as the race goes on.
Managing tires is good unless the guy behind you is pushing and he hasn't enough left at the end as well.
I don't think he's trying to manage his tires in a 13-lap race, especially whenever you're a guy that needs to win.
Even with that softer option, the question mark of does he know that soft can last that long? We're hearing other guys in other classes having to go back to the hard tire because it is cooler than it has been before, especially battles, right, Roger? Yeah. I mean, Cam Peterson's out there managing the speed he has to win this race. That win would be a 2nd place for Stefano Mesa. He's currently in 3rd, but it'll feel like a win. If he can get by Corey Alexander and take one more spot up on that podium, he undercuts him there just a little bit, using maybe a little bit more on that tire. Definitely on that edge. The 98 was the bike that Sip clipped earlier. So great job by Jeremy Simmons out of California Impact Racing. Boy, he got some impact then. 5 laps to go. I mean, you blink your eyes and this race is over with. I mean, it feels like a super sprint. It feels almost like a Super Bowl kind of deal.
Michael Gilbert's still just 1 second back from this little group in front of him. He's going to have to start finding a couple tenths here and there if he's going to want to close up. And actually, it looked like...
There goes Mesa. Mesa once again to the inside. It's not going to happen there, but you knock on the door, maybe get in the head a little bit of Corey, and Corey gives him a room. He doesn't close that door, and now it's going to be a drag race down this little mini straight.
Michael Gilbert's going to love this, them going back and forth and slowing each other down.
Absolutely. Yeah. Corey, I was surprised, didn't close it off, but he felt like he had that speed, and he did. The power of his bike was able to keep him out in front. Don't know that you're going to try and pass over there in that museum turn. Now, this could be a passing opportunity. A couple of places here, especially in the sweeping right. And that last left-hand turn, usually is set up coming down into turn 1. But you got to get a good ride heading to that last turn, Raj.
Especially here, you can set up a guy here as well. If he drifts up wide, you can kind of keep it tight.
He undercut just a little bit there. Going a little bit tighter there. And now setting up for this last left-hand turn coming down the front straightaway. He's going to try and get into that draft. Just behind, look at him, and he's getting on the throttle ever he can, but that front wheel keeps climbing. What do you do in that situation? Just lean forward a little bit more?
You could also drag your rear brake a little bit. That'll keep it from wheeling. But he definitely gets a good run, and he's a lot smaller than Corey, so he should have a little more top speed.
But we've seen it. When he's on the throttle, he's lifting the front end way, way too high.
Look at him, that run he gets up for over the hill.
Jeez, look at that run out. And now back it down into 5. This is a great opportunity, diving underneath a little bit. Again, there's one. He can drag race him. He's not going to do it here, though. Corey got the power down really well. And he does good coming out of 5, doesn't he? Cam Peterson's checking out. I mean, he's got a 6-second lead almost on these two. But look at Gilbert starting to get in the picture again with 4 laps to go.
He gained a couple tenths the last lap.
Look at the 55, the third rider in your picture on that Kawasaki, closing it in. The Michael Gilbert Racing Kawasaki trying to close into Stefano Mesa just in front of him on the 37. The 23 of Corey Alexander, Ride HVMC. That's a Valley rider still. He's looking good there. He's doing just what he needs to do, getting a little wide. You saw the foot slip a little bit, maybe looking for some traction.
Looks like he was a little wide there.
Yep, and it's going to give a good drive by Mesa here. You see coming down that straightaway, he's getting in that tuck. No wheelie. Well, a little bit of a wheelie there.
I think Mesa's going to set him up this lap coming up turn 4. I mean, he was a lot faster that last lap.
So let's look at it. Here's 3.
Yep, driving up over this hill. Might be too far back now.
There it is. We've seen it was May last year, I think, in there, ran off into the grass just on exit there. And there he goes, setting up into 5, into the left. He's going to back it in. He's too far behind. But still, he got a good drive.
A little bit closer.
He got a good drive, though. I mean, it's not like he lost ground and take a different line.
He makes up a lot of ground.
You can do something different than the guy in front of you. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen. He makes a mistake. You put yourself in a position to make the pass. I've had many a championship rider say you're not going to pass anybody following the exact same lines as the guy in front of you. Go Earl Hayden tell you that, a time or two, you're not going to pass following him.
Stefano's really putting the pressure on here.
Coming into traffic as well. That could play a factor with 2.5 laps to go. Cam Peterson, I mean, you can't even see him. He's 6 seconds
Michael Gilbert's
up.
falling back too.
Look at this. Look at how it's not 1 or 2. It's 3 riders here. This could get ugly over there in 1, 2, and 3, can it? I mean, they're going to catch them right about that time. There goes our leader. They're going to catch them into 3. And both those guys able to get by, but he's still got 2 riders in front. Mesa losing a little bit of ground, and that's going to hurt Mesa there, isn't it?
It's going to really hurt Mesa.
The Purple People Eater just in between them and driving out. Corey can catch him at a perfect time. Mesa's going to have good on exit, but now he's going to have 1 rider to deal with, and he gets by on the straightaway. But he lost a bit of time.
He lost a lot of time. Now he's going to have to really,
fight to get back what he lost.
Yeah. The other parts of the track, which could make mistakes. Looked like Corey might have got him a little deep into 5.
He did, and that's going to help Mesa a little bit. Corey doesn't know if he made it through as well. So now you're always guessing because you're the first one in the group that comes through him. Mesa looks really comfortable over there, too. Like he's got those kind of blind sections as you head downhill there. He looks like he's really got things lined up. A little wiggle for Cam Peterson. We'll see him in the Honda Superbike class today. And the way he's riding this stock 1000 bike, don't count him out. If he might even get a top 5 the way he's running right now. I know it sounds crazy on a stock bike.
He was 6th this morning.
Yeah, anything can happen. And the confidence he has right now and being able to run that Alta Suzuki, O'Hagarty and Takaraki. He's really looking good. That race behind him as he takes the white flag down the front straightaway. Let's find out that race for second place. They'll be coming back about 7 seconds later.
Stefano Mesa still not, I don't think, close enough to make that pass into 5 where he's really strong, but he's going to be pushing hard.
There's the leader. 7 seconds or so behind. Should be second place. There it is, the second and third rider in the picture. Corey Alexander, the 23 out of New York. North Carolinian Stefano Mesa. Mesa going inside there, backing in. He's got to do it on this lap. It's a white flag, last lap. Oh, man. Corey's getting a little bit of a wiggle. Good drive from Mesa. Mesa's really setting him up. Look at this, Roger. Drag
Got
race.
him.
And he has position. Whoa! And shut it down is Corey.
So his next part, I think he's going to try to get a drive through the chicane and go up the inside out of 12 where we're seeing him past Michael Gilbert.
Mesa on the 37 thought he had the pass, and that's the never say die attitude of Corey Alexander on the 23 in
Look at
second.
him.
Mesa putting it to it. Corey using all of that track. Here comes Mesa. Got the hard left. Now he's got to set up in the big sweeping right and or the left-hand turn, last turn. He's going to win this thing. Peterson, call it. Give him the checkered. Coming down the front straightaway, and we better have some cameras to look back to on that race for second. Peterson's going to win this thing by about 7 seconds. There's that race for the lead. Look at Mesa in the hard left-hand
Try
turn.
to get a good run.
Can he get that draft? Can he get
he's
the
in
run and a big wiggle? Mesa goes to the inside of drag race to the
Got him.
finish. Stefano Mesa does it by 0.012 seconds over Corey Alexander. Wow.
What a last lap, or last 2 laps by Stefano Mesa. Lappers messed him up, but he put his head back down and caught right back up.
Gilbert's going to finish second. We still haven't seen fifth. There goes Travis Wyman coming across in sixth on his BMW. Gerardo in sixth. Wow. Ashton Yates with a fine finish in seventh on his Honda. And the 19 coming across of Hunter Dunham does to get another top 10 in eighth place. Hunter Dunham ties his best finish of the year. That's his third eighth place finish on the season for the 22-year-old out of Georgia. But what do you think of Cam Peterson? I know we didn't talk about him a bunch because there was a race going on, and he really wasn't in it. He was just out there making laps, it looked like, and 7 seconds ahead of second place. They were giving it, fits. That was a great race for second.
Really good. Look, Stefano,
Yeah,
look
he's
how
so happy
he is.
for second place. That's like a win. That's what I said. Cam was a cut above. He knew it, He was racing for second.
But also, he was going to be so disappointed if that lapper cost him a
Yeah.
chance to even fight for second. That's why you never give up.
And what do you think about 23? Corey Alexander not giving up after it looked like Mesa dove underneath going up to the museum turn or to turn 8, because that's a sketchy turn.
That's a fast.
Look at this. You want to talk about a photo finish? How close is it? There's Alexander on the near side, Mesa on the far side.
You can see
the rubber width. Literally the width
barely.
of that Dunlop, the difference. And again, everything we say is unofficial, officially unofficial. I want to say that. And timing and scoring does have a better slow motion camera, so they will see it. But it looked like even with our eye just off center, it looked like Mesa nipped him just barely at the line. And once again, Cam Peters, a little wiggles coming down there and getting a round of applause from the grid crew and his posse. And you know what? They got to get that bike cooled down. They got a Honda Superbike race they've got to do. Throw the fans on it. Kudos to Stefano Mesa, but also kudos to Corey Alexander.
He
that was
never
a
gave up.
hell of a run.
He fought till the end.
And there could only be one winner, and the same thing goes for second and third. And that was about as close as you could ever ask for. And you know what? The Alexander crew giving him props as well, because they're friends off the track. Everybody gets along with each other off the track, but neither rider gave each other quarter.
You're right. That pass going into turn 8, that Stefano Mesa tried on the last lap. That is a fast section.
You see more problems probably there than anywhere where you get it wrong all by yourself. Try doing it with another guy, stuffing you from the outside. Looking at the tire now, too, because is this the rubber they're going to go back to later on in the Honda Superbike? The answer,
Possibly.
Yeah, highly possible. As fast as he was out there then, there's your official finishing order. Danilo Lewis in ninth, just behind Hunter Dunham. Ashton Yates, the 22. Good to see him with another strong finish, 7th place. Hadn't finished outside the top 8 all year, I believe. Coming off of that 5th place last week in New Jersey. Another Dunham in there. John Dunham back in 16th. Good to see him, but you see a smiling Cam Peterson there on the right, and the South African really looks good. And not only that, you get 25 points for first place, 20 for second, 16. He gained another